All right, it's time for your spotlight here on and now. It's just about 21 minutes after the hour of 6 o'clock, and you are inside the Now Morning Show. And of course, we have with us Gender Affairs Officer in the Division of
Health,
Health, Wellness, and Family, and of course the Gender Affairs Division, the Gender Affairs Department. So he's here to talk to us, Nigel Phillip, about the deep awakening in the man in you, the deep awakening of the man in you. And it's a virtual three-part panel discussion that's going to be happening for the next 3 Thursdays in July. So you definitely don't want to miss it. So Nigel, good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, hi, good morning, Natalie. It's my pleasure being here this morning.
So the deep awakening of the man in you, what does this really mean?
Well, let's say it is a continuation of all the talks that has been happening around with regards to men. And as you know, that there are a lot of talk or programs that target women. I'm not bashing women or anything like that, but there are a lot of programs because women tend to be more vocal, more out in terms of issues that are affecting them when issues arises. Now, men over time, it's troubling for some of them in dealing with these issues. They don't talk. So when I said deep, it goes deep inside. It is deep rooted from culture to becoming man, from boyhood to manhood.
What it means to be a man.
What it means. So all these issues is that we're trying to awaken these issues. It's like awaken these issues so that these issues can be dealt with in a manner that it can be beneficial to men and how they function and how they relate to person, how they relate to women, how they relate to their children and those things.
And what are some of these issues that you all wish to tackle? Because we know that gender-based violence, to me, is one of those issues where the man is always put on the front burner in a negative light, because most of the time there's gender-based violence, it's against the woman and the perpetrator is the man.
Exactly. So when people think about these issues of gender-based violence, domestic violence, or intimate partner violence and those things, most times they think man and they never think woman. And it also can also be the reverse. But society, how society tends to think sometimes is that because man is the aggressor, that they think that he is the one who would perpetrate these types of violence. So most times that these blame or the shift of blaming tends to be on the male figure because men comes off tough, men shows no emotion and men being the aggressor. So we look at it in a 3-part series and we look at, for example, building self-esteem and being in power in a time of uncertainty. So building self-esteem, we look at men having low self-esteem because he has to see low self-esteem or high self-esteem, how man wants to present himself or portray himself. But we look at the self-esteem of man because when man ego is attacked
or challenged, they definitely become defensive.
Yeah, they become defensive, and sometimes even not defensive, they close in. And they don't say much. They don't talk on how they feel, what affects them at home, what's happening with their family at home, their situation at work, So they tend to go down to the rum shop or lime on those things. So,
So for that first virtual conference that's happening on the 1st of July, which is tomorrow, right?
This is today.
Today's it. Oh, shucks. Today is really Thursday. But listen, yesterday I was saying, guys, let us stop and buy 2 Pelori. I didn't even remember that we don't have food on the road,
Oh,
and I thought it was Friday yesterday, so you just forgive me.
So you have to make your own. Good.
Right. So today for that conference, looking at the self-esteem of the man, who will be the speaker who will be dealing with that, and where will it be?
Okay, it would also be virtual. Right, and it's going to be out of one of our studios in Tobago. So the link is on a Facebook Live link, so persons can tune into it.
Yeah, but what is the link of the Facebook Live? Because a lot of times people say that and people don't know where to go.
The Facebook Live is Zoom. The meeting ID is 862-6379-1567. And the passcode is 159350.
Okay, so that's the Zoom. And can they, so will it be on your Facebook page, like on Gender
Yes.
Affairs, not
It
Gender
did
Affairs, but the
the
Division of
division,
Wellness,
the
right?
division of health, wellness, and family development. So
Right.
they
So if they
can
go on
choose,
that page, they can get it as well.
they can get
But
it.
for Zoom, 862 639 715.
6637. No, let me go over it. Eight six
No,
two.
I have it. I missed the numbers. 862 637 91567. And the
Perfect.
passcode is 159350.
Yes.
Yeah, I have one of them conditions. I skip words, I skip letters. Yeah.
Don't
So
worry.
that's a Zoom link. And who is the speaker for that one?
I would be one of the speakers, starting off as the gender unit person. And we'll also have Mr. Kern Walker. So there'll be two speakers, Kern Walker. And Kern Walker is also part of the division, but he also part of other men group like Better Men Who Can Cook. So he has that interactions with men in that particular community and other communities. And also the presenter will be Jahi Melville. And he's also very instrumental in spearheading the main issues on the island of Tobago.
Right. And then, so next week, Thursday, in part 2 of the conference, so it's a 3-part conference.
Yes.
You're talking about the ideal man versus modern day man in society when faced with life's challenges. How is the ideal man different from the modern day man today who is faced with challenges?
And that's a good question. Now, the ideal man is that when person think about the ideal man is that they think about the church person, is that what this person
no,
can
sir, I don't think about no church person.
But okay, Natalie. But when they talk about the ideal man, society think of the ideal man of this man being in shirt and tie, well educated and those type of stuff. Society thinks that this is the ideal man, right? But they don't look at the other aspect of what an ideal man can be. An ideal man could be someone who picks up garbage on the street and treats his family well. He can also be a version of the ideal man. So persons look at in terms of titles when they think about ideal man and those things.
I agree with you with that we tend to be influenced a lot by titles and even dress code, as you mentioned, because as they say, like, the boy on the street with his pants down and his hair cornrowed will kill you with a gun. But the man in the suit and the tie with the briefcase will kill you with a pen. But we don't concentrate on that, and somehow we're more forgiving of that.
Right. So this is what I'm saying. So and when you look at the modern day man, person look at the man that society is now getting to, is like evolved. So that they look at the man, the dress code has changed, ideal of manhood has changed. Man has become more not out, but in a sense in terms of how they appear, how they present themselves. And society.
So you think the presentation has changed? So how does the ideal man dress now? Is it like with bling? I don't know. Is it the vehicle that they drive?
The ideal man could be the person is according to the vehicle they drive, how they dress, what society thinks. So the ideal man to most person, again, the title, the man in the church, right? But they would not think about the modern day man who decide he doesn't want to be in church, right? I just want to live my life. And so in that aspect, we want to bring in a religious touch to it. So what we would have decided is that we would have used persons, again, from the division. So we have Dr. Derek Forrester, right? He's the manager of the Children and Family Services unit. And he's also a counselor and also a pastor. And we also have Pastor Matt, right? And he is a well-known name among persons in the SD circle. And we also have Pastor Nevin Lewis, who is the pastor of the Bethel Moravian Church. So they could bring that aspect of what the ideal man versus the modern day man. So they would bring that religious aspect of it. So that's what we,
I think that, even then and now, I think there are a lot of similarities between the ideal man and the modern day man. I think now the modern day man is the man with the money. It's the man with the status and the money. That's what to me determines the modern day man, because you will hear a woman tell you these days, like they don't want somebody, as you said, who would pick up garbage, even though he may be family oriented, he may be decent, he may be spiritual. I think we're more driven now by, I don't want to be poor, because we put so much emphasis on material things. So it's good that we have, these pastors, Dr. Derek Forrester, Pastor Mark, and of course, Pastor Nevin Lewis, to come in to talk about that. But are we limiting ourselves with just having, religious persons?
No, I wouldn't say that we're limiting ourselves, because most times when people look at society, they tend to want to have a little bit of spirituality in it. And
right.
the panel is very diverse because the pastors are mature, young, and those things, so they can bring in that particular touch to speak into the lives of many persons out there. And then on top of that, they have the followers, because
right.
a lot of churches, they have the main group, and
Yes.
then they have the circle now with gospel calypso and gospel and the whole thing, and the youth buy into that.
So they can reach a lot of people.
So the audience would be mixed. So then therefore they can have the people, their followers buy in to address those issues, and that they can talk into those issues.
And the last conference on the 15th of July, which is my dad's birthday, by the way, he should definitely sign up for this. He's definitely not a modern day man.
Okay.
So you're talking about against all odds when the cycle of violence and trauma continues.
Right.
So talk to us about that.
That is one of the serious topics, because we talk about gender-based violence, we talk about the different types of violence that is in our society, and this is an ongoing conversation. It's a conversation that will never stop. As much as we like to eradicate these types of violence, it will never stop. So that we want to focus in terms of the violence continuing, the trauma, right? The trauma.
So what can you do?
What can you do? How can you seek help? How does this type of violence affects the home? How does it affect the society from a male point of view? We have violence in terms of what can perpetrate violence, in terms of it could be health issues, it can be insecurities, and it could be culture, right? So the different things that would be targeted in there when we look at the cycle of violence, and that is one of the main issues that the gender unit tackles and work along with other units to try to work with issues of gender-based violence and domestic violence.
And you know what, Nigel, there is also the stigma against men seeking help, whether it's counseling, whether it's against domestic violence, which to me is just ridiculous, because somehow we act as if women can't be perpetrators and women can't be violent as well. We have women out there who don't know how to control themselves, or will have a man in a relationship, and because he will not respond in a like manner, will use that as her weapon. And you are right. When we started, you spoke about women, having a lot of, things to treat with women, to treat with most of the times the victim. Most of the times, as far as we know, the victim. And I've always said, where are the conferences, the councils, the organizations to treat with the men? And so when we came up with, it's Carrie Man, I was so excited. Carrie Man, I was so excited that there was actually a group. So, I'm happy that the Gender Affairs Department in the Division of Family Health is the division, I'll never get it right, Family Health and Wellness.
Division of Health, Wellness, and Family Development.
Health, Wellness, and Family. I'm happy that the division is doing something about it, And with this 3-part conference, you said that there are people in there on the panel who have fallen so that people can get in. But within the department itself, do you all normally do things, week to week, month to month, and have the participation of men?
And I'm glad you asked that question. And the department is a very comprehensive department, and each unit will be responsible for various programs that spearhead to target the different social issues that is out there. And what is very instrumental about the department is that we work with different groups in society. So it is not just an internal. So we work with different groups. So that's when I talk about mainstreaming gender, it's very important to work with the groups on the ground because the people on the ground will know the voices that are happening in the community. So you look at the community-based organization, you look at the NGOs, non-government organization, the religious-based organization. These people are very crucial in the fight in terms of the work that we spearhead. So the unit itself comprises of different services. You can have services of the community social work unit, where they have the community social workers in the communities. You have the child psychologists, we have therapists, we have substance abuse that target issues of substance abuse and drug use. And we even have services that where men can be treated for certain health things that they may be experiencing, because we have a clinic, right? We have a clinic strictly for men on the island. Yeah. So which targets men issues. So that is one of the achievements in terms of the gender unit, in terms of having that clinic strictly for men, and men can address those health issues there.
Yes, so, as you say it, I remember that, and I think that's definitely an initiative to be applauded. Nigel, we have 1 minute left, but is it that the meeting ID and code will be the same for all 3 conferences?
Yes, yes, Natalie, it would be.
Right. So you can get the Facebook Live people at the Division of Health, Wellness, and Family Development.
Yeah, right? It's on Facebook, and most persons on Facebook.
Right. And then if you want to join via Zoom, and can women come in as well, even though this is targeted for men?
Well, it is open to all, because they can learn something that they can tell their husbands or their sons. So it's open to all. Yes.
Right. So the meeting ID is 862-6379-1567. I can see Nigel double checking me, you know. And of course, the passcode is 159350. And this is a 3-part panel discussion. The Deep Awakening of the Man in You is a virtual panel discussion, of course. So you can join it via Zoom or via Facebook, and that's the Gender Affairs Department Facebook page, the Division of Health, Wellness, and Family Development.
Good.
That's the Facebook page. All right, so Nigel, we do have to leave it there. Any final comments?
Not a problem, Natalie, and we thanks again for having me on the program.
And we invite all the men to come out, please.
Yes.
Nobody can see you, just except who else joining who wants the help. So go out and be a part of it. All right, Nigel, thank you so much.
You have a good one, and good luck to your team. And
same to you. Nigel Phillip there of the Gender Affairs Department from the Division of Health, Wellness, and Family Development in the THA, talking to us about the 3-part panel discussion they're going to be having about the deep awakening of the man in you. The today itself, go sign up. It's building self-esteem and being empowered in a time of uncertainty. All right, we take a break and we'll be back with you.
Bye. Okay.
A man is a man.